guys! Today I'm going to be making homemade bread rolls. These were definitely a challenge to make and definitely a little bit harder on the difficulty level than I normally do, but they were a lot of fun to make nonetheless, and I would say they turned out okay. So let's get into it.
Great, so to start the bread, I'm going to whisk together, according to the recipe, some of my warm milk, the yeast, and then now cover it and let it sit for 5 minutes. And this stuff is going to be my best friend in this recipe. This is what it's looking like at the moment. You can see the condensation at the top. That's because it's a chemical reaction, and what it does is it produces heat when it does that. Alright, it's been a couple minutes, so now I'm going to add in pretty much everything else. It says to add sugar, butter, egg, salt, and some of the flour. Wherever my flour went. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And now we mix. Alright, so that was just the first mix because I'm actually gonna add the rest of the flour now. And now we mix again. Alright, I have set it in its bowl with some oil to proof for or rise or whatever for a couple hours. It's super sticky and stuff, and it's kind of nasty to touch with your hands, but that's what the recipe said to do, so I did it. Alright, so my dough has doubled in size, as you can see. So now I'm going to punch it down and put it into this prepared baking pan. Cover them and let them rise again, and I just want to point out something really quick. Number one, this failed spectacularly, and let me show you why. So number one, these are super sticky, so I touch them, my hands are very clean now, and you can see that, and it sticks. So if I take this little bit, it's goopy. It's I didn't add enough of something, and I don't know what that something was. I think it was flour. As you can tell by this mess of flour from my hands, I felt like a gymnast putting chalk on their hands, except it was flour, not chalk. Next, these are supposed to be way more roll shaped. And this is a recipe that's supposed to make 15 to 19. I have 6. So either these had better be some massive dinner rolls, or I did something wrong. Next, the mess. All that is mine, and yes, I'm going to clean it up, but that's a lot, and I don't think that's supposed to happen. And so yeah, well, we'll see how they taste once they come out, but no guarantees here because this is a mess. All right, this is the dough after a second rising, and it actually looks pretty decent except for this massive missing part. I think what I should have done is shaped it differently.
Alright, so as you can see, those definitely weren't the best in the world. Now, they tasted great. I would give them a 10 out of 10 for taste. You cannot beat fresh bread as far as taste goes. But looks, they were a little weird, and I have some theories as to why that might be, so I figured I'd share those. Number one, flour. I used all-purpose and not bread flour. And if I had wanted like chewier or puffier rolls, maybe I should have used bread flour. I don't know much about like baking science or anything like that. I just bake, so I wouldn't know. The second thing that I think might have gone wrong is shaping. I don't know if you saw, but like I was trying to shape them with my hands and like roll little balls. And how you're supposed to do it is you're supposed to like stretch and then tie like a knot. Not like tie, just like twist a knot. And if I had done that, maybe I would have gotten as many rolls as I was supposed to. Maybe I would have like gotten them to be more of a round shape and less of a little blob, because they definitely rose. But the third thing was maybe I used expired yeast. Our yeast has been opened for over 6 months, but it's not at the point of expiration yet, so I figured I might as well use it. Basically, it's still active yeast. It's just not as like rising, or it doesn't rise as far as like normal yeast. So yeah, I had a lot of fun making this. Overall, I would say it was a success. Mild failures, but mostly a success. So yeah, that's it. See you guys next week.